Hello? Am I on? I'm over here. Okay, cool. Oh, no. About the middle. And stop. Should really set this up before we start. Hey, it's Lone Wolf here from Wolf Territories Grid. And, yesterday I made a really cool video. I was very happy with the grid. I was bouncing around the grid. And then it happened. One of the VMs fell over. One of the big ones, like one of the important ones, fell over. And I had to restore a backup that took 7 hours to restore because it was 450 gig and it was on a remote server. So I wanted to talk about backups and why they're important and how you can actually, things you've got to watch out for. Um, we see a lot. I see a lot of grids going down, and in fact, I've had two catastrophic kind of events which I recovered from, thankfully, because I had backups and data that I could pull on. You cannot have enough backups or snapshots. So what I've got right now is I actually clone machines, so I can actually with Proxmox, which I actually have running somewhere over here. Not this one. That's OpenSim World. With Proxmox, you can see I've actually got clones of these machines. So that's the grid clone there. So that means if the grid server fails, all I have to do is fire up that clone and restore the database to it, which is stored on the object store, and we'll be back up and running probably in about 15-20 minutes, something like that. No, maybe not even that, maybe about 10 minutes. So yeah, so that's the ultimate goal, is to have a backup situation where you're not running, you're not waiting for 8 hours like I was yesterday to actually get up the backed up machine. So I mean, in hindsight, I've had two of these events. When I first set up on Contabo, I had one of the VMs actually just died. It just went complete. I couldn't boot it. Luckily, I could get to the disk, so I was able to pull off a lot of the data. In fact, I was able to pull off all the data and had a complete recovery onto another VM. This time, what happened was the VM's disk corrupted. And I think it was caused. It can be caused by a lot of things. So it was probably, there is a chance when you take a snapshot of a VM that it actually damages the VM you're taking a snapshot from. But it's so tiny it hardly ever happens. But knowing my luck, as I'm a bit of an unlucky wolf, it might have happened to me. Ho ho ho. Or we may have some processor issues or whatever. But anyway, we're all settled down now. Everything's back to normal. After 7.5 hours of worrying to whether or not the backup that I'd taken an hour before it crashed was actually any good, but it was, and we're all back online, and it's cool. I moved the robust servers to a different server actually, because it was one of my servers. There's two bare metal servers with VMs on them, and so sometimes it's better to run. You can move things around to sort of help with loading, because altogether I've got about 34 plus 20, 34, 64 processors running Wolf Territories Grid, and about 270 gig of RAM, I suppose. Don't tell me how much disk space we've got. 3, 4. Just in terms of SSDs, we've got 6 terabytes of SSDs. We've got 2 terabytes of hard disk space we use for backups, and of course the good old object store, which is currently coming back at about 1.2 petabytes, which is 1,000 terabytes. So if you've got a 1 terabyte drive in your little laptop right now, just imagine 1,000 of them. So we've got some really cool things in place, and that's the thing. Make sure you got this stuff in place, because even if you've got a tiny grid, you put all that work into building beautiful places for people to look at, and and then something happens, somebody hacks it, or and it does happen. There is a lot of griefing going on at the moment. So yeah, that's what I was going to say. Just get your backup regime sorted. Don't rely on, like, cloud backups are great, but they do take hours and hours to restore, and it's no fun for anybody. It was no fun for me yesterday. I had to wander around for 7 or 8 hours, worried about whether or not I could get the main grid back up. So yeah, so all I'm going to say to you is, just be careful, folks. Be careful out there, and if you want some help, and if you want to have a chat about things, about your grid or your regions, I'm always around. I'm normally hanging around Wolf Territories Welcome, which actually used to be. Okay, so you see that, how fast that teleport was and how fast everything rezzed. So I'm normally hanging around here, which is the mountain, and I'll put the link in in the bottom of this video on YouTube. So I'm normally hanging around here. Just come and have a chat if you want to. I'm really happy to talk to anybody who's looking for a bit of advice, maybe a hug, maybe not a hug. I don't really do hugs. Actually, I really don't like being touched. Thank you very much. Please don't touch me, especially with my fur. It's very sensitive. So yeah, so that's good. And so lastly, just going to talk about. Don't forget the destination guide. You can click on this thing over here and it brings up the destination guide. You can also hit search like that. If I'm not around and you want to contact me, you can just go contact Lone Wolf and it brings up my profile at Wolf Territories Grid. We're currently sitting at 723 regions, which is pretty cool. All stable, happily running. And there's all kinds of experiences as well you can find. I'll put it somewhere, shall we? Just find somewhere. So the casino, there's farm shop, that if you've got Satyr Farm, the ballrooms, nice. Look at Pink Floyd stage, got some different things going on there. Castle, if you want to go to that castle, by the way, you can actually get a ski lift down from here. Move this out of the way, I'm hiding my face, sorry. You can get a ski lift down from here. Marine Racetrack, this is just a few of the things. We've got loads of space. I don't know where I've just gone. Okay, that was a little bit slower, probably because I was changing servers. Oh yeah, the racetrack. I've not been here for ages, and we had a reboot yesterday. So I don't know if you know, but when you've rebooted a region, it takes slightly longer to come up. So that's why this one's taking slightly longer than normal to come up. I wouldn't expect it to be this slow. Normally, it's just purely because we rebooted everything yesterday after a little bit of a hoo-ha. So basically, this is like a racetrack. You can it's actually made out of terrain, so you can actually just drive your vehicle right around the racetrack and have loads of fun doing it. Oh, we've got some visitors list. Let's see who's been on the visitor list. Difficult to read at the moment. It's not. Oh, there it is. Urban. I know who you are. Oh, good. Okay. So yeah, cool. Okay. Anyway. So just going to scroll around here. Anyway, have a lovely day, and don't forget to do your backups. Don't forget to make sure that you've got a really stable system, but also make sure it's backed up not only on the system itself for quick restoring, but also off-site, so that if your whole server blows up, you can actually still get your grid back, even if it took a bit of time. Lone Wolf signing off. How do I do this? Well, that was a cool sign off. Complete.